We about to see how dumb English dialect is. You know what I'm saying? Like how we talk, like the shit we be saying. Like we be saying some stupid at like, like I'm trying to think of one off the top. I can't, but nigga, we be saying some dumb ass shit, bro. Like how we say words. You feel me? Touche. What the fuck is that? I don't know if that's English, bro. But why we say touche? Like, come on up. You feel me? All right, but we about to see what they talking about. Let's go.
Isn't the English language dumb? Think how many words we have with multiple equally correct pronunciations. Think how many times you've seen a word have a random
Like, for example, nigga said pronunciations. Nigga, I thought it was pronunciations. You know what I'm saying? Like,
vowel thrown in there for absolutely no reason. Think how many words we have that are spelled exactly the same as some other words, yet mean entirely different things. Right. Do you know the letter C? You know how it's completely useless? Because every single sound it makes can be done by the letter S or the letter K? I mean, yeah, when you combine C with H, you get a unique sound for ch, for words like Charmander, Charmeleon.
This nigga sound like he fed up, like he just can't believe that this is life. What the
and Charizard. But then you could have the K sound turn into that by just putting KH. It's super broken. Spell kernel. You know, like from the military, not like a corn kernel. You know, C-O-L-O-N-E-L.
No, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie, I don't understand. Nigga, how? Nigga, that's not kernel. I don't care. Like, what you could try to tell me, I don't care what you try to say to me, bro. That will never in life be kernel. My nigga, that say colonial, whatever fuck he just spelled. But it wasn't kernel, I can tell you that much. I can bet that, buddy.
Total fucking sense. What's your favorite color? It doesn't matter, because whether or not that color has a U in it depends on what region you're from. Exactly. And even though they're pronounced exactly the same and mean the same thing, they're spelled differently. Pronounce this word right here for me. Naive. I'll give you a hint. It's not knave. And good God almighty, pneumonia and pterodactyls start with a P?
Because if not, I look like a dumbass.
Stupid people are already writing in the comments to defend our rubber band and duct tape way of speaking, and that's fine. I will ignore them because they're going to miss the actual point of this video. It's the fact that English, as well as many other languages in fact, but English is the only one that I speak, is so fractured and broken and diverse and put together from so many unrelated sources that you can speak in an entirely different way and communicate the same exact thing and still be speaking proper English. To the point where not only would it be foreign to someone in a different country, but it could be foreign to someone in a different state. Have you ever thought about the fact that people who speak English in, say, California, speak an almost noticeably different language than someone from Texas or New York? I'm not talking about accents. I'm talking about naming conventions, phrases, and slang. About 10 years ago, the New York Times, a shitty, untrustworthy, sensationalist, for-money news publication based solely on the fact that I haven't been featured on them like some other major news publications I know, put out a quiz that linked your way of speaking English to a dialect map that showed where in America you'd be most likely to hear people speak it the way that you do. Since you're all my lovely, handsome, over 18 and consenting fans, you know wordplay and tongue twistery are a strong suit of mine. I play with the English language like a half-frozen mouse dumped into a hungry python's cage right before it moves on to the 2-year-old in the family robe. As such, I tend to flip how I pronounce things constantly. Sometimes my mother's sister is my aunt, sometimes she's my aunt. But at all times, she's a very nice woman. Sometimes I get comfy in my pajamas, and sometimes it's pajamas. And if there's a formal occasion, I'm in my jammies. Hell, sometimes I pronounce things, and other times I pronounce things. Truthfully, I don't really know why I flip pronunciations the way that I do, but I do it pretty often. Anyway, the quiz covers a wide range of different speaking patterns found in the US, and some of them are downright hilarious. Keep in mind that the question numbers are going to be a bit all over the place since I took this test multiple times to make sure I saw every question, but my results that I show at the end are from my first blind run of the test. Let's get started. How would you address a group of 2 or more people? You all, yous, you lot, you guys.
Hey, we about to play a game. Oh shit, y'all ready, chat? We about to play a game, chat.
Guys, you'ns, yins, you other y'all. This one I could see myself saying a lot of. You all sounds good. You guys,
No.
y'all, I've used all
Just
of those
y'all.
interchangeably. Use, I
Just
think I'd
y'all,
only
bro.
say if I were performing a bank heist and I'm letting my underling know that he needs to do what he needs to do if he knows what's good for him. But yins sounds like a head injury.
No,
It's
it's good
apparently
for you.
part of the mysterious and elusive Philadelphia accent, which is one of the most intensely studied English dialects because of how fucked up and specific it is. That's true. You can look that fact up. I would never lie to yins. Oh, look at that. Pajamas and pajamas, like I mentioned earlier. I have a deep, sinking suspicion that I started using pajamas because of Tony Pajamas from The Amanda
pajamas,
Show,
man.
and I just
Pajama.
never dropped it.
Pajama.
Because as a kid, I distinctly remember saying pajamas, but now I say
Pajama.
pajamas mostly. Fuck you, Amanda
Pajama.
Bynes. I hope your drug rehab is going
Pajama,
okay.
nigga.
And what really
Pajama?
trips me up is
Nigga,
other.
that shit don't even sound. Wait.
How else would you...
Say pajama. Say pajama like nigga once, nigga, and then nigga think about what you just said, and then say that shit again. Nigga, that don't even sound real. Nigga, that don't even sound like a real word. Pajama. 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 What is that? That shit don't even sound like nothing. What the fuck is wrong with saying, nigga? PJs.
You
nigga.
pronounce it. What do you call a drive-through liquor store? A desperate cry for help. Brew-through, party barn, bootlegger, beer barn, beverage barn. None of these to me are good names for a drive-through liquor store.
liquor
They're more
store, nigga.
synonymous with the location where I'd get my sister pregnant. Especially if there were any inside-out spheres lying around. What do you call the night before Halloween? Gate night, trick night, mischief night, cabbage night, goosey night,
What is you
devil night,
saying?
mischief
Go back.
lying around.
Cause this
Sister
says some
pregnant.
bullshit about a sister.
Especially if there were any inside-out spheres lying around. What do you call the night
Like, what is it? What was he talking about?
before Halloween? Gate night, trick night, mischief night, cabbage night, goosey night,
Nigga, trick or
devil's
treat,
night,
nigga.
devil's
Wait, the
Eve.
night before
Okay, devil's
Halloween.
trick, mischief all makes sense.
Nothing.
Cabbage night
Nigga,
apparently
nothing,
got
nigga.
started because in old
The night before
Scotland,
Halloween,
girls would
what's
steal
up?
cabbages from their neighborhood and use the leaves to tell each other's fortunes about future husbands and money. It was an Ouija board that left you with some spoiled salad instead of a wasted $20 and an everlasting night of embarrassment when you find out the mystical six-dimensional ghost caller is actually a flimsy piece of cardboard made by Parker Brothers. Cabbage night sprang about because once the girls were done with their cabbage miscleochondrics, they'd smash the rotting cabbages on their neighbor's front door. You know, as logic would
This nigga
dictate.
got the history.
Goosey night
This
came
nigga
from an
took his
old
history
Puritan
books out.
tradition around the 1600s, where the night before Halloween, in a bid to protect the townsfolk from any sweltering evil spirits, the town mayor would pin down and viciously have sex with a fully grown goose. And the townsfolk watching would stand around and chant, "Goosey gander, goosey gander, goosey gander." I'm just kidding, I made that up.
I was
Best
about to say, nah.
historical records of Goosey Night indicate goosey used to be a slang term for children who acted really riled up and crazy, which they usually do before Halloween, hence Goosey Night. They should have let me rewrite history because it'd be so much cooler, but what can you do? What do you call a sweetened carbonated beverage? Soda, pop, Coke,
Soda.
tonic, soft drink, lemonade, Coca-Cola, fizzy drink, dope. Oh boy, here we but fucking go. I've heard about this one. This
it
one
soda.
really boils my piss inside
drink.
out. Excuse me. This one boils my Coke inside
Soda
out.
pop.
Because many southern states, in a bid to out-stupid each other, use Coke
call
as a
it drink.
generic name
It's a
for all
drink.
sodas. I get it. You want to call Coca-Cola Coke? By all means. You want to call Pepsi-Cola a Coke? That makes sense. But an orange soda is not a fucking Coke. It's
yeah.
not even a cola.
You sound
Sprite,
stupid.
Dr. Pepper, root beer, grape soda, ginger ale, cream soda. Any soda that is not a cola does not deserve the
not
name
a Coke.
Coke.
You
It
can't
doesn't
say
make
that.
any fucking sense.
right. You're
Brand
right, my
names
guy.
as generics can make sense. No one searches shit on the internet. They Google it. Lots of people just ask for a Kleenex. And if you're over 400 years old, you've probably asked someone to Xerox something rather than just copy it. But a motherfucking soft drink with no cola elements whatsoever is not a
What is that,
fucking
Xerox?
Coke. End of story. Number 2, lemonade. Best I could find from research is that this is a holdover from the UK where carbonated lemon water is referred to as lemonade. Okay, first off, keep your goddamn queen-loving, teeth-crooking, tea-drinking slang out of my country, you communist son of a bitch. Number two, the ingredients in an American lemonade, aka God's chosen lemonade, are lemons, water, and sugar. It's not even fucking carbonated. It's not a soda. It does not pop. Its resemblance to Coke, which I already mentioned is a sin against linguistics, are minimal at best. There's no tonic. It's not a soft nor fizzy drink. Calling all sodas lemonade is like going to a Tyler Perry movie when you're white. It's totally fine that you do it, but don't be upset if you get a bunch of weird looks. And finally, it's totally... Calling all sodas lemonade is like going to a Tyler Perry movie when you're white. It's totally fine that you do it, but don't be upset if you get a bunch of weird looks. And finally, don't...
Bro, what is he talking about? That nigga said, nigga, what? White people don't watch Tyler Perry? Nigga, that's new. Nigga, that's new. That's new, nigga. I don't watch nigga either, though. Shit. Fuck it.
Hope. Nice try, local police department. You're not fooling me that easily. What do you call the area of grass in the middle of some streets? Boulevard. Midway. Traffic island. Island. Neutral ground. Neutral ground. That slang must come from local army bases. But it's apparently a big saying in New Orleans. And I'm not surprised. Gun violence in New Orleans rose 51% in 2021.
I'm not surprised.
Probably because they refer to guns as only options. What do you call the insect that flies around in the summer and glows in the dark? Lightning bug. Firefly. I use lightning bug and firefly interchangeably. Petey Wally.
I say 3.
Opera GX is my preferred browser. I used to use Chrome, and then I finally opened my third eye. Chrome just is a giant resource hog.
I was like, you may not believe your eyes. 10 million
Petey Wally. I
fireflies.
struggled really hard to find why this term even exists, but apparently it's a term brought over from Jamaica. I don't even need to say shit. I'm just gonna say Petey Wally for about the next 20 seconds and let it sink in.
Peeny Wally.
Petey Wally. Petey Wally. Petey Wally. What do you call the rubber-soled shoes worn in gym class for athletic activities? Sneakers, shoes, gym shoes, sand
man.
shoes, jumpers, tennis shoes, runners, trainers.
It's
All
called
of these
shoes,
look
man.
fine, albeit a bit specific. I actually say sneakers, and I was inquisitive as to why they're even called sneakers. Turns out, when sneakers were first made in the 1880s, they were called that because they made no sound when walking, contrasting standard hard-soled dress shoes that most people wore back then. Sand shoes is an Australian slang term for sneakers. At first, it was stupid, because when I googled it, when I internet searched it, I found nothing. Amazon even brought up shopping lists for like beach shoes and shit, because apparently this is such a small little colloquialism. Then again, I have seen all the Mad Max movies, so I know exactly what it's like walking around in Australia. Sand shoe is a bit generous. They should actually call them broken glass gasoline and poison stinger shoes. How do you pronounce aunt? Vowel in ah, to sound like ant. Vowel in cut, same vowel in all of them. Sounds like ain't. I use ah when referring to the general concept of an aunt, but I use aunt when I refer to a specific person. Picture in your mind the general concept of an aunt. Just picture it. Cat lady, mid-40s, obsessed with primetime game shows and whatever's trending on ABC. Very likely a smoker, but if not, she has some sort of quirky personality tick to make up for it. What do you call an easy high school or college class? Gut, crypt course, bird, blow off, meat. Crypt course. Yeah, I guess if you go to an all-bloods high school, it makes sense for the crypt course to be an easy class. Bird makes sense on some level. Free as a bird, for the birds. There's a lot of American idioms referring to birds and their allusion to cheap, unfulfilling things. Hence why popular American slogan, Denny's, the most popular restaurant among the birds. But gut and meat? What the actual fuck? Yeah, of course, this course is so easy. It's a meat course. It's all about meat. It's just the meatiest. I don't get that. What do you call something that is across both streets from you at an intersection? Oh, boy. Where the fuck do I start with this one? Kitty corner, kidda corner, catacorus. I guess I'm vocabulary. Cats cross the street.
What the fuck? I never. Like, why would I ever have to say something?
And
like, why would I in life ever
American colloquial catawampus, which
let's get to the point. Let's get to that one, bro. Let's get to the
street.
Next one.
Right. Not anything really unusual here. Pill bug, doodle bug, potato up into a ball when it's touched. Not anything really unusual. The small and created by people who were too stupid to know how an X-ray works. What do you call the small gray bug that curls up into a ball when it's touched? Not anything really unusual here. Pill bug, doodle bug, potato bug, roly-poly, etc. Most of these I could see as a way to describe how the bug looks or what it does. Except millipedes and centipedes aren't pill bugs. They're entirely different animals. I'd imagine if you chose this for your region's pill bug terminology, the quiz would immediately end, and the New York Times would display your regional accent results as incurable moron. What do you call a large motor vehicle used to carry freight? See, this one fucks me up real good because I use almost all of these. I've said semi-truck, I've said semi, I've said 18-wheeler, I've just said truck. I've said trailer truck. I swap words all around. Maybe I'm an enigma of this fucking baffling word speak that comes out of our mouths. But regardless, Lori is not a truck. Lori is the name of a woman in her mid-40s who smokes and watches ABC obsessively. If you out there have an aunt named Lori who does all those things, I just blew your fucking mind. What do you call the thing from which you might drink water in a school? Bubbler. Water bubbler. Drinking fountain. Water fountain. The water doesn't bubble, does it? It's not carbonated. This isn't a water cooler in your office that gives you a spot to pause for a moment and realize you're suicidally depressed. You know, that big jug that goes when you use it. This is a big metal, barely functioning engine box spewing out lukewarm H2O to complement your playground hijinks. It doesn't bubble. It usually kicks on after you've had some water and goes brrrr. If that sounds like bubbling to you, I'm going to karate chop your otolaryngologist in the ears, nose, and throat. What do you call the large wild cat native to the Americas? Mountain lion, cougar, puma, mountain cat, panther, catamount. Don't you fucking start catamount. And mountain screamer. Mountain screamer's just fucking cool. I'm a big fan of naming things after what they do. For example, if you're like watching an old fantasy video and they meet the villain and he just stands up and he goes, "I am Kragzar, the skull fucker." You immediately know what he's all about. By the way, painter?
You immediately know what he's all about.
It's a cat. What do you call the long sandwich that contains cold cuts, lettuce, and so on? Sub, grinder, hoagie, hero, poor boy, bomber, Italian sandwich, baguette, and sarnie. All of these are all over the place. Also, nice fuck up calling a po' boy a poor boy. They're fucking called po' boys. I've been kicked out of enough Cajun restaurants for trying to set the crawfish free to know that they're called po' boys. Obviously, every one of these has a very specific etymology, and I'm far too busy and lazy to look them all up. So I'm going to make up my own. These names came from the fact that different regions of the US simultaneously invented long sandwiches, and those regions contained fans of naval battleships, gay sex, weird Philadelphia bullshit accents, Dragon's Quest, class segregation, World War II airplanes, being uncreative, stupidly naming a sandwich after the wrong kind of bread, and whatever the fuck a sarnie is, respectively. And finally, no joke, the entire reason I made this video. I can't get over this one. It holds a special place in my heart. I love this. I'm going to start using these in my everyday life. I'm going to find a way to work each and every one of these choices in. As I reveal the options, I would love for all of you watching at home to play along and try to guess what's coming next. Unless you've done this quiz before, I can almost guarantee you will not be able to predict what America has decided to call this specific thing. What do you call it when rain falls while the sun is shining? Sun shower. Now that's what I call it. That's what all my friends call it. That's what I've heard everyone I've ever met call it. It makes sense. The sun is out and it's showering rain. It makes perfect sense. Let's keep going. The wolf is giving birth. The devil is beating his wife. Monkey's wedding. Ox's wedding. Pineapple rain. And finally, liquid sun. I want to make a prog metal concept album about me having to challenge the sun to a battle to the death. And this right here is my track listing, in order, including I have no term or expression for this. That's the instrumental track. What a fun little quiz. A fun little educational lesson into how all over the place our communication can be.
No cap. That shit crazy. Yeah.